Hey Trance family, welcome back to the 6th video in our series where we're showing you how to make an uplifting peak time trance, modern, something that would get signed today. And in the last video, we added pads into the mix, and I spent a little bit of time since then flushing out the pad section and putting the bass pad in. And I'll solo those just so you can hear what they sound like for now. And I did a little bit of automation and things like that. So basic chord progression so far, nothing mind-blowing. And this is subject to change. This is just really a placeholder for now. Maybe we'll keep it if it works. But as the track develops, we will flush out that chord progression. And I'm going to play the rest of the track for you guys. I've decided to name this track Above the Stars. And I did get inspired a little bit. Again, I think I mentioned in the last video, once you start sort of adding these effects and things like that into the track, if you're a creative person, you might start running. And for me personally, I started running. I was just sort of inspired, I think, or maybe the soundscape that I was seeing in my head when I closed my eyes and listened to it. I actually saw maybe a spaceship. I mean, this is crazy, but this is how I get inspired, and this is like the story that I tell that helps me write the track. And the reason I'm telling this is you'll see how it all comes together. But maybe we're taking a spaceship above the stars, and the spaceship is actually going to talk to you and tell you that that's where we're going. And I decided to actually make that happen. Little trick. If that's not the coolest thing in the world, this is called Speak and Tweak. I do have Reason. This is like a little plug-in in Reason, and you can make it say anything you want. So I do have it through some effects. It's hard to hear. I had to make it say a buff with a F because the V, for some reason, the V was not coming out. So you have to be creative sometimes. So I made it go above the stars. And for some reason, that F comes out nicely, and it kind of sounds like a above. So I'll play it for you one more time. So I don't know where that idea came from, but I went with it, and so I started constructing the track in that direction. Okay, so I'm going to stop talking and play the track, and then we're going to carry on with today's lesson. So this is what we have so far. Okay, so I don't want to spend our whole time listening back to the track, but you guys get the idea. So it really started to come together with the drives and stuff. I will say I'm actually really happy with the acid sound that I picked. I initially said I wasn't happy with it, but it really starts to like play through on the track. Like the way everything came together is interesting. It's interesting how it works. So I do just have these different little acid sounds. So I will solo this just so you can hear how these effects work together. And then here's with the drives. We'll solo the drives and then I'll put them together. Okay, so we put all of those together and I'll just do it with the kick drum and you can kind of hear. So yeah, we can see we're really trying to build like a soundscape using the acids and the drives, and it really comes together nicely with everything. And I guess the other thing I'll show you is just some of the sound effects that I use. Some of the stuff is just sound samples I grabbed from the sound pack and put them in there and did like a gate delay or something to it to make it rhythmic. Like that, I wasn't even playing anything. This is just from the sound pack, the atmosphere. But it kind of has like a space sound to it, and so that's why I put it in there. And okay, guys, so I'm going to start throwing in some tracks. Give me a few minutes. I'm going to start adding some plucks into the track, and let's see what I come up with. Okay, guys, so I took some time and added just a couple plucks into the arrangement. One pluck I sort of actually came up with a little bit earlier, but I didn't want to show it to you guys yet just because I was getting inspired again when I was making the track. And so this was just a little runner pluck, and I'm going to pair this with another runner pluck eventually, but this is good enough for now. So I'll play with that, show you what that sounds like. Okay. And so it's just kind of doing like a back and forth motion, and that kind of creates like a hypnotic feeling. So this is more about motion. This line is more about motion than it is about melody. Okay. And then I put something in there. This is where I got creative. I was messing around with the Pluck patch and just kind of came up with this little ditty. And I was like, let me, let's not say ditty. I came up with a little, a little motif, and here's what that sounds like. So again, more of this up, like back and forth motion. I feel like it creates this tech sound. I don't know how to explain it, and I named this sound cloud tech because maybe I have synesthesia, but sometimes I like see images when I'm like listening to trance, and for some reason when this sound came in, I sort of imagined like a cloud or something, but I don't know. This is just how my brain works, and this is how I make music, so I'm just sharing that with you guys. So put these together. Okay. And so again, we're creating another soundscape with the plucks, just like we spent time creating a soundscape with the acids and the drives. Okay. So you see how all that sort of comes together and creates like a really deep atmosphere. And this is what sort of gives trance that magic, right? And the last thing is I did like a chorded pluck. Has a nice echo. And so that sounds cool in there. So everything together. So the track is starting to sound pretty deep, and we didn't even add vocals to it. We didn't even add the super saw. We didn't add, like, we still have so much more room to go. And so this is just the work of these different layers. So the way that I'm dividing the music and that best works for me is I'm breaking it up into drives. I'm breaking it up into sort of acid sounds. I'm also thinking about plucks that and sort of basic synthesizer things I can do, like cool sounds I can make with synthesizers to add interest to the music. And then also having atmosphere and effects, which they are slightly different. You know, effects and atmosphere serve different purposes, although they are very similar, right? And I think it's also the fills. Being creative with your fills is what makes, I think, was what gives this magic, right? Chopping stuff together. So I'm going to play the track back for you guys, and then in the next video we're going to start adding in, I'm starting to think of maybe some melodies. So I'm feeling maybe piano, super saw, and something else. What else could we do? Maybe vocals. So we'll see how much we can cram into one video. All right. Hey, stay beautiful, guys, and thanks for listening.